everybody. Welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. And the topic today is to avoid people who downgrade your worth. Now, we have a letter, so let's dive right into this letter. She says, I am a 49-year-old single woman who's never been married and been celibate for a year since I started my spiritual journey. You know, you deserve a congratulations, both for being celibate and being on your spiritual journey. For a long time, I thought I was crazy because a lot of your content is exactly what I thought about how life should be growing up. I always said our bodies heal themselves and was always skeptical about pills. That's right, your body has the ability to heal itself. It's like when I was in a relationship, I knew that it wasn't love because I used to say, love doesn't hurt. It shouldn't. It shouldn't hurt. But I still stayed. And I used to say, isn't a man supposed to help the woman, not live off her? You're absolutely right. But a man will do what you allow him to get away with. He will go as far as you allow him to. So if he can be with you and not protect or support you, well, he'll go with it. Ladies, you have the power to say yes or to say no. And you do this according to your own self-worth. Okay? Anyway, I learned as I lived life, and I'm now in a better mindset and loving myself more and more every day. Before my spiritual journey, I was watching Kevin Samuels on YouTube, and the things he was saying to the women was a lot different from what I ever heard from anyone. I got scared and almost started back looking for a man, and glad I didn't. Okay, let's talk about this Kevin Samuels. I didn't know anything about him before I got on this platform. And when I got on this platform, he died. And so, I just looked at his past videos and that kind of thing. And he did belittle women a lot. I wish that I was on here when he was on here, but it didn't happen that way. But, I was astonished how many women joined him on his platform just for him to humiliate them. That's beyond me. Why would you do that? He had no good information for you. He had no good advice for you. He was always putting you down and showing you how to submit to men. He didn't do anything for your own self-esteem or to build you up or your power as being a woman. He was always chopping you down so that a man would accept you. Now, I guess there's a lot of desperate women out there who wanted a man so bad that they would listen to him, to whatever he said, how to get a man and how to keep a man. And then he's telling some women that you're too this, you're too fat, you're too small, you're too broke, you're too everything, why you don't have a man, things like that. And then he would grade women. You're a 5, what do you think you are? Just say, oh, well, I think I'm a 7. And he said, no, more like a 3, a 2, things like that. That's the kind of thing that chops you down and makes you feel bad about yourself, makes you feel like you're not good enough. He made you feel like you are not lovable unless you fit into his category of being a desired woman. Well, I'm here to tell you that women of all shapes, sizes, races, cultures, or whatever, you are all beautiful. You came here beautiful. You are beautiful. And just because you're big, he chopped down women when they were big. Let me tell you something. I've seen so many big women in happy relationships. You cannot take what some men tell you because they are only giving you information from their own experiences. And I'm going to tell you something about Kevin Samuels that I picked up right away. I think it was, you know what I mean? He looked a little to me. Okay? So let's go on with your letter and see what you said here. You may need to watch a small video if you haven't seen his content. Yeah, I looked at his content and I thought it was disgusting and degrading for women. It felt degrading and rude. It was. Flat out. The man didn't like women. He didn't like you. And that's why he was always attacking women. But for women to call in, for him to attack them publicly, I thought that was wrong. And a lot of women who chimed in and called in to him were women who had low self-esteem anyway. And he just continued to chop it down, make you feel worse than you did when you called in. I have never heard one video from this fella that uplifted women. It wasn't about that. He didn't like women. He chopped you down and made you feel miserable. Don't listen to people who do that. You are a wonderful person. And just because you happen to be overweight, even me, I can feel overweight sometimes. And I just go working on myself. I just do a few more steps during the day, or I eat less or whatever because I feel overweight, not because somebody out there going to tell me that you overweight. No, you can't listen to what people say. Really, because a lot of people don't have anything good to say to you because their lives are not good. They're not happy. So they can't give you a happy feeling because they don't have happiness inside of them. So that's why you can't listen to everybody. Pick and choose who you follow. Okay? You want to follow people that make you feel good about yourself, that helps you to grow and be the best version of yourself, not people who chop you down. All right? For example, he said a man doesn't want to marry an overweight woman. That's a flat out lie. I know a lot of men who like big women. There's a lot of men who absolutely adore big women. Okay, I see more big women with men than tiny women. Okay, so you can't go by that. But some of what he said made sense when it came down to women cheating on their husbands. That's never good for anyone who cheats. Well, again, he's attacking women. All right. So he hones in on women who cheat. Well, what about men who cheat? In my estimation, there's more men that cheat than women. And usually the women would cheat when the man's already out there cheating. And then she figures, oh, well, I might as well, not realizing that she is devaluing herself when she does that because it's revengeful. You want to get back at the man. So he cheats, I'm going to cheat. That's revenge. That's in low vibration. You don't want to be there. Okay. So, the way that I saw him, he's operating from negative energy. That's all. And he didn't like women. Period. That's why he was attacking women. And I feel like he did this because he probably, like I said, I think he was a little list, but he probably had women who rejected him because he wasn't the finest dude. You know what I'm saying? Rejected him along the way. So now he's going to attack women. That was his platform, attacking women and raising up masculinity. Okay. And he told a lot of men misinformation. And ladies, that's why we are going to build ourselves up. We're not going to worry about what these men believe that they can do to us and how they can rate us and make us feel bad about ourselves because of what he taught them. No, we're not going to go with that. We are going to harness our own power, build ourselves up, be the best version of ourselves that we can be, and continue to grow and turn a blind eye and ear to negative information. And that's all he was spouting, negative information. Okay? I see a lot of men following his advice, but it seems to be misleading a lot of people and scaring them because most women and men are alone and unhappy being alone. Well, that is another issue where a lot of people are alone and unhappy being alone. Now, okay, I live my life without a partner. So yeah, I guess you can say I'm alone, but I don't feel alone. I feel full. I feel happy. I don't feel that loneliness in my life. As a matter of fact, I feel free in my life because living alone can be freeing after you get out of that mindset that you need somebody. You can't live a happy life unless you have a partner. Once you get out of that mindset that's been driven into you since you was a child, you enjoy being alone. Really. So you don't need a partner to come in and affect your happiness, to come in and treat you any kind of way just to have somebody there. Now, if you're fortunate enough to find a loving companion, that's a wonderful thing. That's absolutely wonderful. But women, we don't settle. Never settle just to prevent being alone. Being alone, I tell you, is very beneficial to your health and your well-being. Now, let's see. He says women need men to live in this life. For what? What do we need them for? Think about it, ladies. Take a moment and think about, what do you need a man for to live in this life? Now, if you want to have a family and you want to have, have your children and all of that, yeah, you're going to need a man for that. You understand? But you don't need a man to live in this life. What is that? You see, ladies, he threw out that need to you because he knows that a lot of you want a man. So he's not going to say want a man. He's going to say you need a man. And then he's going to chop you down and tell you why you can't get one. Ladies, you have to listen to his real message and not get emotional by that surface nonsense that he was spouting. Ladies, my question is, Kevin Samuel's content negative or belittling women? Yeah, both. And what helps with visualization? I seem to have a hard time with that one. Okay, you kind of touched on the Kevin Samuel, so, I think you got the message, what I'm trying to say about his message. He is grooming chauvinists. chauvinists, men who feel superior to you, women, men who have the right to criticize the way you look, criticize what you have, whether you have an education or whether you have money, whether you own anything, things like that. It was all about criticizing women for wherever they are in life. And I saw some very nice looking women on there. And he would chop them down as if they were the most disgusting women that ever came out. Ladies. And then after, the program, how did those women feel? They're going to go back and look at themselves again. And Kevin, because, this man tells you that you are a 2 and you thought you was at least a 6 or a 7. You understand? That's no good to grade you. And I disagree with men who try to grade women, period. You're all 10s. There's someone out there who sees you as a 10 the way that you are. You don't have to conform to what you see in the magazines or on TV or in the movies or anything. You don't have to conform yourself to be a 10. You already a 10. You came here as a 10. The universe made you a 10. Ladies, walk away from men who try to grade you. Walk away from it or try to belittle you or make you feel bad in some way. Walk away from that. All right, I've had men to try to say disgusting things to me when I was much younger because I refused to date them. Then they want to come out with some disgusting comment about me because I rejected them. You see, I really believe that was his issue. He had been rejected a number of times. He was probably some little nerdy guy growing up that nobody wanted to deal with. And so he didn't like women. So he comes out to attack them. So, disregard anything he said. Let's start over, women, building ourselves up and loving ourselves and understanding our real value. Okay. Now, you said something about visualization. Okay. Do you ever daydream? Do you ever, just sit around and let your mind wander off to doing something pleasant or being in an exotic place or just enjoying yourself doing something that you love doing? If you do, that's visualization in its simplest form, just daydreaming. You see? Now, what you want to do is visualize where you want to be in life, whatever it is. When I decided that I wanted to buy a new car, and I knew exactly what car I wanted, first thing I did was that I got a picture of the car, and I put it right on my phone so that every time I looked at my phone, I looked at that car. And then I visualized myself driving the car. Just having a good time in this car. And see, that triggers in your subconscious mind that you already have it. You're not yearning for it. You already have it. So it brings it into your reality. Visualization is a very strong practice in manifestation. And it's just like daydreaming. Daydreaming. Just see the things that you want in your mind. And if you have trouble doing that, find yourself a picture and paste it up on your refrigerator, put it on your phone, or put it on your computer as a screensaver. So every time you go on the computer, you see it. Well, all that seeps into your subconscious. And it will bring it into your reality. Visualization is easy. It's staying focused on it that you may have difficulty with. And staying focused is staying positive. That is already yours. Be grateful and thank the universe for bringing this wonderful gift into your life. Always be in a state of gratitude and appreciation, and avoid any negative energy. For instance, you don't want people telling you what you can't have, so you don't discuss it with other people. You don't tell other people, I want to get this car, I want to get this, I want to get this, that. Don't keep all of that to yourself. Keep it to yourself. And in your mind, you want to act like you already have it. You already have it. And the universe will work out ways for it to become a reality for you. Okay? It's all about the way that your mind works. You see, our mind is like a computer, and it can manifest for us, but we need to learn how to control it and not allow other people to influence the way that we think or feel about ourselves. You see, that's why I'm always telling you to love yourself. Always build yourself up. And when you are full of yourself, no matter what anybody else says, it's not going to affect you because you already know your value. And it doesn't matter how much you have right now. You can still love yourself if you don't have much. But loving yourself, the universe will give you more as long as you appreciate what you have right now. Always continue to look forward, to move forward, never backwards. And whatever your goals or desires are in life, keep them to yourself. Don't ask other people what they think. Don't tell other people, because then they're going to tell you what they think about it. And this may deter you and put you on the opposite path. You may even give up on your dreams if enough people tell you that you can't do it. Just like this fella, he was telling women, a woman will come on there and say what type of man she wants and looking for. And he'll say, you're never going to get it. Well, how the heck does he know you're never going to get it? You can have what you desire as long as you believe that you can have it. Do not listen to negative energy, period. I hope you understand the message today, and I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who may have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And if you're looking for today's affirmation, the link is also in the description. I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments and your letters. And a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best. And I really hope to see you next time.